You can count on. This is KSBW Action News 8.
Tonight we are tracking the rain and wind as another atmospheric river makes its way across the state of California and the Central Coast. It's a live look out of Skycam 8 on Fremont Peak, where you can see the rain has been coming down for most of the day. Same story over in Santa Cruz. Skycam 8 at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, where the ground is covered in water. And this was a scene in Salinas earlier today. It's video captured at Mission Park on Romy Lane in South Salinas. Light rain falling at the time, but as you can see, streets were already wet. Puddles were forming. Similar scenes across the entire Central Coast as rain has been falling for most of the day and more is on the way. We have live team coverage of the storm bringing rain to an already saturated Central Coast. Brisa Colon and Felix Cortez are standing by with a look at conditions from Santa Cruz County to San Benito County. But first, KSBW Chief Meteorologist Lee Solomon has the latest on the storm and what we can expect in the coming hours, especially overnight, which, Lee, can of course be the most dangerous time.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. Of course, it's making landfall and you're going, well, where is it? It's everywhere. We got an area of low pressure up to the north. We've got widespread rain from Seattle all the way down basically to Santa Barbara at this time. The heaviest of it is in California, both northern, central, and starting to head into southern California. So everybody in California is going to get wet from this one. And unfortunately, it's going to be probably a little too much, a little too fast. As we know, we are saturated. Tonight, rain and wind will continue. We'll pick up in rain rates. Heavy at times. Flooding is expected on certain rivers. We'll talk about that in a second. Power outages also expected. On Friday, we'll continue with rain and winds through about midday and then start to see some improvement, but still more flooding and power outages possible with improvements in the afternoon. And then on Saturday, this will be gone, but we'll see leftover scattered showers, it looks like, on and off with lighter winds through most of the upcoming weekend. The first river expected to flood would be the San Lorenzo, and that'll be later tonight as we approach or possibly get into major flood stage. So that's the top rung there. And again, you can see how this will be flashy in terms of it's going to go up really fast as the rain rates increase. And we're starting to see a little bit of that now. And then it should drop rather quickly as well. But the damage may already be done. If you are in Felton Grove, you know what I'm talking about. So hopefully you're either getting out of the way or prepared for more flooding. The Carmel River would be the next one likely to go. Only expected to go to minor flood stage, though. And again, that's probably tomorrow afternoon. So you have a little bit more time to both prepare and watch for that. And then after that, there may be other rivers as well. Wind advisories are up. We have had wind gusts to 45. We expect more of that through the night. And as again, the rain keeps coming down, it will saturate the ground further. The trees will start to come down. You may lose power, so do be prepared for that. We'll time out the rest of the next 48 hours for you. And of course, impact area roadways and your commute tomorrow as well, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we will look for it. Thank you, Lee. Evacuation warnings are in place tonight across the Central Coast. No evacuation orders have been issued at this point, but we want to get you up to date on what has been issued. In Monterey County, if you live in low-lying areas along, as Lee mentioned, the Carmel River, you are asked to prepare to evacuate at a moment's notice. It's not an order, but you need to be prepared. A warning area spans along the river from Klondike Canyon Road to west of Del Mesa Drive. Warning also in place for the Carmel River Lagoon area. Evacuation warnings are in place for the community of Pajaro and Bolsa Knolls, including adjacent homes in Salinas city limits. Low-lying areas of Arroyo Seco, including Sycamore Flat, also impacted with this warning. People in San Benito County also being warned to evacuate at a moment's notice if it becomes necessary. This is for residents on Lovers Lane, Frazier Lake, and San Felipe area. If you do need to evacuate, an evacuation center has been set up at the Hollister Migrant Housing Center on Southside Road. With more on conditions in San Benito County, we go to Action News 8 reporter Felix Cortez, who is live just outside of Hollister tonight. Felix?
Well, Erin, we're live just down the road from Lovers Lane, which saw some of the heaviest flooding the last go-around, in large part because there were levee breaks on the Pacheco Creek. Today, county supervisors taking steps to address some of those levee breaks during a special board meeting. Those county supervisors agreed to take action took action to bring back the so-called Pacheco Storm Water District, which has been inactive for more than 20 years. Many residents have complained the levees along the Pacheco Creek have not been properly maintained and repaired. Today, the Board of Supervisors agreed to bring back that district and appointed several members in hopes of leveraging state and federal dollars to make repairs and alleviate future flooding.
And it's tough because they're on private property and it takes engineering to do the levees correctly. And it's a shame there hasn't been more long-term solutions done in the past. But all we can do is do the best that we have now and move forward. And so this stormwater district is one of the ways the county is really working to have long-term solutions for this problem.
The last council, the last time happened 2017, they do nothing for us. We're on our own. They just say this and that.
County leaders, not to mention those on Lover's Lane, hoping this next round of weather does not bring the flooding they saw back in January. And again, a warning to those living near creeks to heed those evacuation warnings. Again, with this ground very saturated, it won't take long for those rivers and creeks to rise very quickly. Aaron.
All right, Felix, thank you. Emergency officials in Santa Cruz County are warning some residents to also be ready to evacuate. Evacuation warnings are in place for low-lying areas in multiple zones. This includes areas along Corralitos Creek in Watsonville, including the College Lake Houlihan area. Evacuation warnings also in effect for the SoCal Village area and in Rio Del Mar Flats, Paradise Park, and Felton Grove. Again, these are warnings. They are not orders. They are warnings. We have posted the specific zones online at ksbw.com/evacuations. Low-lying communities along the San Lorenzo River, such as Paradise Park and Felton Grove, bracing for a repeat in flooding. Many already seeing some flooding. Action News 8 reporter Brisa Colon is live in Felton with an update on how that community is preparing, coping, bracing. Brisa?
Aaron, community members out here in the Felton Grove area are saying they're feeling a bit shocked and discouraged that they're being hit yet again by another storm. They were hit so hard back in January. As you mentioned, they are low-lying and they're right next to the San Lorenzo River. Take a look behind me. I'm here at the river next to the covered bridge. The rain is coming down pretty strong out here on the river. Santa Cruz County officials warning residents tonight, if you flooded in January, you most likely are going to be flooding again. Areas hardest hit like Paradise Park as well as Felton Grove facing the brunt of the flooding. Mud and debris left in the street from January storm. Neighbors watching river levels rise. Homeowners feeling like they've made some progress after having their homes destroyed, now worried they'll be set back.
Everybody here is now, all the cars are up there and everybody's got anything that they care about up out of the way so that if there is then a flood, which it's expected today, people will be able to save what they can.
We're a little bit shocked and upset. We weren't expecting to go through this again, especially not so soon. So it's just I think we feel very scrambled right now and a little bit lost.
Felton Fire Protection says they're going to have extra staffing on hand and are ready to set up any command centers in case of any evacuation orders. As of right now, the county is in phase 1 of their emergency operations, and they say they are prepared to offer any emergency evacuation mandates. Reporting in Felton, I'm Brisa Colon, KSBW, Action News 8.
Brisa, thank you. Santa Cruz County released a list of emergency shelter sites in anticipation of the storm. Overnight shelters are being established at the locations that you see there on your screen. County will also establish a daytime temporary evacuation point at the Scotts Valley Community Center. Each site provides food, supplies, support services, and a place to sleep. You can find more storm coverage on the KSBW app and online at ksbw.com. Turn on breaking news alerts to stay notified about any evacuation warnings and orders. Up in the Sierra, snow is piling up and crews expect more snow to fall in the next few days. For more on those conditions, we go to Action News 8 reporter Maricela de la Cruz in Soda Springs.
Light traffic along a snowy Interstate 80 as many prepared for the latest winter storm. Most staying indoors, while others took this morning and early afternoon to grab last-minute snacks and gas. As locals hunker down, over 160 workers are clearing roads from Auburn to the Nevada state line, including Highway 20 between Nevada City and the I-80 connector, which is only open to residents.
The rest areas are full of snow. So right now we had to close Donner Summit, and that's pretty typical. We just haven't had the manpower to get in there with our blowers and clear it because we're focused on Interstate 80 and trying to keep that as clear as we can. So the rest areas won't likely reopen anytime soon.
Highway 20 will remain closed indefinitely until it's safe enough to have 2 lanes of traffic open to drivers.
Maricela de la Cruz reporting for us there. Meantime, new federal funding is going towards a new bus line in Monterey County. The SURF project, as it is called, connects Marina, Sand City, and Seaside using a dedicated busway. It's going to get $14 million. Route will go alongside Highway 1 and aims to expand ridership and reduce congestion. Supporters of the new bus line say it will improve on-time performance. Coming up, a new monument to Harriet Tubman, what the exhibit includes and what it's replacing. A diet that could lower your odds of developing Alzheimer's, why researchers are calling the Mediterranean diet the mind diet. The opportunity to make a difference today, raising money to help animals in Monterey County. Stay with us for more coverage you can count on.
Breaking news from KSBW Action News 8.
We do have some breaking news that we want to tell you about. Evacuation warnings in Watsonville have been upgraded to evacuation orders. This includes areas along Corralitos Creek and on Bridge Street from Main Street to East Lake Street. We have a full list of evacuation warnings that have been issued on our website at ksbw.com, but it is important to note this is the first warning that has been upgraded to an evacuation order, meaning people need to get out of the way. We are continuing to track the atmospheric river slamming the Central Coast. This is a live look at Skycam 8 atop the Embassy Suites in Seaside. It actually looks kind of pretty right now, and a little bit of light rain around the region. Moments ago, the rain is expected only to get stronger as the night goes on, and that is when we do expect more problems. Monterey County has closed the following parks today and tomorrow in anticipation of severe weather. Park closures are listed on your screen. Now, the San Lorenzo Park RV campground, it's going to stay open. Lake San Antonio and Nacimiento will also remain open for camping and boating, but trails will be closed. And now, with an opportunity to make a difference. Today, we are helping to raise money to help abused, neglected, and homeless animals here in Monterey County. Action News 8 reporter Christian Balderas is joining us live from the SPCA in Monterey County with more on this fundraiser. Christian?
Hey Aaron, it was a little cold outside earlier. It's a bit of an understatement, but now I'm all warm because I'm holding this cute little girl, and you will not believe what her name is. Her name is Erin. Isn't that so cute? Look at her. Oh, she's resting on my lap. And I have another surprise. We have the president and CEO, Scott DeLuca, here at the Monterey County SPCA, and he is holding Dan.
I'm warm too because I think Dan just peed on me a little bit.
Oh no! May have had an accident over here, but this is live television, folks.
Thank you, Dan.
And the special guests do not end here. If we want to go down the line over here, take a look at these cute little kitties. This is Snickers that she's holding. And then over here we have Baby. All of these animals today, only a few weeks old, and they're all up for adoption. They're currently in foster care, being taken care of greatly, but of course we're looking for loving and permanent homes. Now, this is a big operation, which is why we're asking for donations today. And it's not just dogs and cats. The SPCA takes care of all sorts of animals, from barn animals like horses and goats to the more exotic and wild animals like snakes and birds. Very few, if any, shelters and rescues can say the same. They provide shelters, rehabilitative care, and even services to help people keep their pets, like giving them free food and cheap spaying and neutering. They do all of this thanks to the hundreds of volunteers and solely through donations directly from the community, not to be confused with donations to the ASPCA.
ASPCA is a national organization, but people will confuse us with them because our names are similar. They're a national group based in New York City, and they do their work. We're responsible for all the work that happens at this level, and our local community makes that work possible.
Now, if you'd like to donate and help us out, you can do so by dialing the number on your phone. That is 888-525-1905. Again, 888-525-1905, or you can go online to spcamc.org. Now, also, we are having, this little girl's whining. She's a little shy. But we also have match donations. So that means if you donate, say, $1, $20, that will also be matched. So we do highly encourage you. A lot of people in the community are already calling in this evening and have been throughout the entire day. Aaron, back to you.
Okay, they've got the names right, Christian? Because, I'm a little mouthy, so that's Aaron, and Dan is a troublemaker, right? You never know what he's going to do. Anyway.
Yes. Hold on, he needs one more spotlight. Take a look at Dad. He's waiting for his close-up.
There you go. That's little Dan right there. Give little Dan a home. SPCA does such wonderful work. And as you pointed out, Christian, it's not just puppies and cats. The work they do is really across the board. Anything that anybody can give will be greatly appreciated, and most importantly, will be put to really good use. All right. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, SPCA, Aaron and Dan, the puppies. All right. Back to the weather, because that is the
Darn
big
it.
I know, darn it. That's
Yeah.
the big newsmaker today, and actually probably for the next 48 hours or so.
Yeah, there's just going to be wide-ranging impacts across the state. So if you've got travel plans this weekend, folks talking about going to the Sierra and going here, you might have slides on 50.
Yeah.
It's not just the snow. Now it's all kinds of flooding issues.
You're going to have
along
snow
the way.
melt. You're going to have the rivers coming up. You're going to have,
Yeah.
people are going to be dealing with in some situations, perhaps life and death situations.
Perhaps tonight, tonight. Thankfully, we do have microclimates. Other folks will see much lesser impacts, as generally is the case. We do have a good bit of wind, though, going now, anywhere from about 10 miles an hour to 31 miles an hour. That's your sustained wind. When we look at the gusts, of course, they have been higher than that. Look at that. A gust almost to 50 here just recently in Salinas, a gust of 40 in San Jose, and 45 to San Francisco. So when you start to see those gusts between 40 and 50, that's when you start to see those trees start coming down, especially because now it's been raining for a while. And you can see it's not just a small little bit of rain over us. It's more or less the entire state from north to south all the way down to Santa Barbara at this point. And there are heavier bands coming through the Sierra, starting to see quite a bit of snow pile up. It's a tricky forecast, and I'll show you why here in a second. So what we have is a warm front approaching right there. There is an area of low pressure that's sliding down. This is all cold air, and there's actually a cold front here. So there's a lot of moving parts. What I'm hoping is that this cold front could drive the atmospheric river portion, the subtropical tap down to the south sooner, hopefully. It's not the actual forecast, but that's what I'm hoping. It will also keep snow levels lower if we can do that, which is good news. So that could lessen the flooding threat in the foothills of the Sierra. But right now, we have the warm front, the warm sector of this just approaching the coast, and that's why the winds are starting to pick up, and we'll see rain rates picking up too as we go through the night. So moderate to heavy rain. Most of it is going to be up in the mountains. We will get rain in the valleys, but most of Salinas and the peninsula, they'll be rain shadowed, so they'll see about a third or even just a fifth of what we'll see up in the mountains. And when I say a fifth, an inch as opposed to 5 or 7 or 10. You can see by tomorrow afternoon, we're starting to see the atmospheric river portion slide to the south. We'll still see some rain, scattered showers overnight, probably through Friday night and into Saturday morning. So here's what we're thinking: 3 to 6 inches in the mountains, but there will be probably spots, especially in the Santa Lucias, that could see 8 to 10 inches or maybe a little more. 1 to 3 inches coast and a half an inch to an inch in the valleys. And overall, for a winter storm, you'd say, yeah, that's good. That's just kind of what we usually expect. Unfortunately, it's kind of like doubling the numbers that we would normally see because of the saturated ground. So it's not sinking in. This is all running off. 44 to 51 tonight. I do have it as an alert night tonight, going to severe because of the possibility of not only flooding, but trees coming down on homes. Travel not recommended tonight because, you know, once it gets dark, boy, you have a hard time realizing whether the road's there or not. You got waters coming over roads. I already saw some flooding coming in today, which was very unusual for the amount of rain that we had, but that just shows you how saturated the ground is. It's not soaking any of it up.
It's
just
soaking
coming in and
nothing.
Yeah, it's just coming right down.
Yep.
So we're already seeing some small areas of mud and some fields that are getting flooded. And, you know, tonight with the steadier, heavier rains that will go all night into tomorrow morning. The morning commute tomorrow could be really tricky. So I would say if you don't have to go over to Silicon Valley from Santa Cruz, maybe just work from home because A, there could be trees down on many of the roadways. B, it just might take you a very long time.
And it's going to be and it's depending on where you are and what, you know, different areas are going to see a different impact from this storm. But
yeah, I
everybody's
mean,
gonna
you
get
know,
a little
downtown
bit.
Santa Cruz should be fine. You know, you're in Salinas, you're fine. But if you get up into the rural areas and the outlying areas, that's where you're going to see more of the impact.
And a lot of the low-lying areas.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Lee. Coming up, honoring an American hero. See how a new monument is remembering Harriet Tubman. A new study is showing surprising benefits from a Mediterranean diet. All that and more when we return.
Now, KSBW's Health Watch with Aaron Clark.
On the Health Watch tonight, a Mediterranean diet could help with Alzheimer's. That's according to a new study from Rush University Medical Center in Chicago. The diet, also called the MIND diet, is mainly plant-based and consists of whole grains, vegetables, and nuts. Researchers found that those who eat the diet had much lower odds of showing signs of Alzheimer's. Diet also requires you to limit your cheese and butter intake. California is reducing how long you will have to stay quarantined after a positive COVID test. New rule is that a COVID positive person can leave isolation after 5 days if they have been fever-free for 24 hours and feel okay. New rules take effect this Monday. Updating some of tonight's top local stories. It is the weather, of course. Evacuation warnings are in place tonight across the Central Coast. We start in Monterey County, where warnings are in place for the areas that you see on your screen. Evacuation warnings in Watsonville have been upgraded to evacuation orders. This includes areas along Corralitos Creek and on Bridge Street from Main Street to East Lake Street. I want to get a final check of our weather with Lee because things are probably going to get worse before they get better.
Yeah, tonight's a good night to just stay home and not do anything.
Yeah.
You know, just you know, there's a lot going on out there, and the roads are getting pretty packed up with a lot of rain. So we'll see those low-lying areas along roadways with some flooding and ponding, possible power outages with some trees coming down certainly tonight as well. Small slides in the mix and some minor flooding. Certainly possible. For tonight, the rain and wind tomorrow will continue that through about noon, and then much improvement hopefully in the afternoon with less wind, less rain, and then back to some scattered showers maybe over the weekend, but the main brunt will be long gone by then. Temperatures will stay mostly in the 50s to around 60. See some showers over the weekend, but again, the main brunt will be from now through about midday tomorrow.
Got to get through the next 24 hours. All right, thank you, Lee. That's it for Action News at 5. We'll be back with more local news at 6, and we hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. Good night.